I'm Corey Hersch, and you're watching Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Regarelia?
How you making out?
Doing all right, man. A little sore from this men's league game last Sunday that you failed to even respond to.
Back at it this quickly?
We were back at it, and you know how they reward the champs? 10 o'clock
10
slot.
o'clock slot. Well, that's why I wasn't there.
That is George W. Bush right there. That's Bush League.
It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
Who do you talk to?
I knew you weren't going to show anyway because you...
Well, that's way too late.
You were just so excited about something we'll bring up here in a little bit, something that's coming back. We ended up losing. Blue Devils,
Wow.
our old foes.
Jeez.
Good game, though, really good game.
Any snipes?
I got one.
Yeah? Toby in action?
I had an apple, little Toby action. I'm terrible, though, God. I'm not going to lie to you. We had 5 forwards and 3D. So the kid
a little
was
too much ice time.
dying, and I'm out of shape. Like, I'm fat as a seal right now, so...
Baby seal.
I'm coming back a baby seal, exactly. All-Star Weekend, bro.
Oh.
Little recap. Let's recap it. I know you were tuned in.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. Now, this year they had a player with the most points out of all the, events take home $1 million.
Wow. $1 million?
Do you know who the fastest skater was, Riggs?
I don't.
I think you do.
Is his name Connor?
Yeah. Connor McJesus. Connor McDavid. 13.4 seconds. What do you think you could do it in?
13.5.
You'd still be playing if you could skate 13.5. Although you're fast, I will say that. Will say it. You're pretty fast, man. You could skate. 4th time he won it. It's kind of cool. That's one of my favorite things to watch those guys because they're, man, like people don't understand.
Just rips.
I mean, they are moving. Unless you're down there and you see it on TV, yeah, they're fast, but when you're, as close as we've been lucky enough to be, it's crazy. I'll tell you one guy who wasn't flying, just was,
well, I saw that.
Coochie Poo. I thought he might have got into some of Michael Bublé's stash there.
I don't know. I think he would have produced and been a little more productive if he dipped into Bublé's stash.
I think you're right.
That was a little...
Baller, you should... well, you know what Bublé said.
My buddy told me this is just a microdose of mushrooms, and he was lying. So, I'll be honest, I thought I was in Blades of Glory for most of the time that I was out there, until it sort of settled down, and then I realized, holy shit, I'm at the NHL All-Star Game.
But yeah,
no, he needed a little
something.
fun dry there. I think he was nursing a hangover.
I think it had something to do with the Four Nations face-off tournament next year. Russia and Czech aren't involved. I'm not 100% on that, but someone did.
He's
tell
definitely
me that.
Flexing or just completely hung.
Or hung or
and
loaded.
Both. Yeah,
but
loaded.
I think it might have something to do with that. But anyway, Cale Makar, 102.5.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Bringing it.
Rips it like you.
You know what surprised me in the hardest shot was JT Miller.
Yeah.
He shot 102. Like, I know he's a sniper, like he can snipe it, but man, that's hard.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Like, I didn't expect that. These sticks. Can you imagine if he had a Tovey? Definitely 107.
107 on the hook.
For sure, 107. Oh, look. What about the accuracy? See Okonzi there?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking buried it pretty quick, just like you.
Yeah, happens.
4 up, 4 down.
It's the way I'd like to do it,
Well, we saw our boy Chief do it. He got 2 practice ones out of the way,
right, yeah,
and then buried those. But
might have been pretty ugly, I'm sure.
Yours? You think? With that Tovey in your hand?
Yeah, well, it'd be hard, but I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't hit the net at all. But anyway, pretty cool weekend. It's fun to watch. Not sure about what Biebs was wearing there the one day. on the bench. But one of my favorite things was Jimmy Montgomery jumping up and down. I love Monty, man. That was just cool. And he got, he had his son there, so it was a father-son weekend for him. And we had dinner, a couple weeks, the weekend of the alumni game, and he was looking forward to him and his son his son's old enough now to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I wish I could have taken Elvis when I was fortunate enough to do it, but he was so young. Like, he would have loved it.
Quite the experience.
But it would have been tough to get, with him and the late nights.
Late nights.
Real late. Yeah. Anyway, McDavid walks away. He needed it. I mean, he needed the mill. I think PK Subban asked him, how's it feel to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
What a great question. Oh, man.
What do you think of Beebs' crossovers?
Ooh.
You see him ripping around out there?
I had seen him, man. He actually played in the celebrity game when I met him.
Is that when Proggins was elbowed him into the glass at first?
And smiling at the camera. That was fucking great. What a picture that was.
He moves all right.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, I mean, shit. Not bad. I don't know how much time he has to...
Yeah, I know, right?
Hockey,
Unless he's got a little sheet in the studio.
He probably has one in the crib.
Why would
I think he's got enough money. He probably has a...
Recording while he's skating.
Singing. What if Marner and the boys go over and, Matthews and them, and they skate around with him, work on it. We might be able to get you here in TO.
Yeah.
Get you a 10-day PTO.
Just get him around for the morale.
He's wearing that coat. Obviously, that coat must be something cool, but, like, my God.
Is that his brand?
I don't know. I know Debo has the green one, not the pink, but he can pull it off. I don't even know if Beebs can pull that thing off.
I think you can fire up some Nasty Knuckles merch with that.
With that?
Yeah, why not? Remove a few?
We could. I mean, we could, I guess. If the people want it, we'll do it.
The people want it.
I know there's one thing you are so fired up about, and it's back.
It's back.
It's like David Boreanaz back.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's the national play.
Oh! How do you go about that? Hey?
A lot of work.
Oh, my God. A lot of work, boys. It is back, and Riggs is fired up. Four Nations face-off, buddy. U.S., Canada. It's been a long time coming, boys. U.S., Canada, Finland, and Sweden.
Oh, man.
What a tourney. Are we going? I think Nasty Knuckles. I think we got to take the trip for that one. I don't even know where it is. Baller, where is it? Do we know? It's in...
Oh, we got to go.
Call Monty. Monty, we're going to come crash. Bring in the crew. Go for the... I mean, it's back.
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's back. Holy shit.
National play.
2025. They announced that NHL players will be able to participate also in the 2026 and 2030 Olympics, which is cool. And also World Cup coming back, 28 and 2032.
Wow, big news.
That is big news. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I got to do 2 World Cups, and they were fun.
Yeah,
Except, the second one wasn't so much fun because we didn't win a game. But U.S., but we'll be back.
You're
just
back,
like the Four Nations. Hey, last night, big dub. Flyers needed a win last
snap
night.
it. Snap that streak.
Snap the streak.
Got to. That's the way to do it.
TK with a sweet little goal, and Cates with a winner, and our buddy Stoley in that played well.
Yeah.
Sam had a really good game. He needed
that.
that. He had lost 4 straight, and it wasn't all on him at all by any means, but he needed a win.
Yeah.
He needed a win. The Flyers needed a win.
Boys needed a win, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
They were pretty pumped about it, too. You could tell. They were like, whew, all right, let's get back at it. Tough game coming up tomorrow, though. Your boys coming into town.
The old Jets all fired up.
You're going to go in there and paint your face and
probably
have the jers on and everything.
Fresh body there, too.
Fresh body.
No. Monahan?
Monty? They got traded. Big trade. You went ahead and announced it. Sean Monahan gets traded to Winnipeg. You're correct. For a first and third round pick. He's kind of picked it back up. He had a tough go there in Calgary, and I think he was hurt. He was hurt because someone yelled at me. They sent in something saying, "Hey, he's hurt." Well, my apologies. He was, but he's been playing pretty well. You get a first round pick for him, and it'll be interesting. I think we'll probably be at that gang. Kings. Dewey, we talked about Doughty kind of calling his teammates out, and you know who's going to go when this happens. And
the way it goes.
Yeah, they fire McLellan, and man, I've never had him as a coach, but I've met him a bunch of times. And every team he's ever been on, I always talk to the equipment guys. It's like, this guy's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, what a guy. Old school type guy, but like a really good dude. I feel bad for him, man. It just keeps, like, I don't know, man. Like, they were playing really well, and then obviously during the year you're going to have those streaks. We've talked about it, but I guess they felt like they needed to make a move.
Yeah.
Oh, Blakesy.
Oh, Blakey
poo.
Got a little eager, a little anxious. You got to pull the trigger sometimes.
They did.
You
Canucks,
show the world you mean business.
Yeah, they meant it.
Of course.
Canucks make a trade.
Yep. I don't know much about this Kuzmenko.
What?
Kuzmenko?
Yeah, there you go.
That's not maybe that's
Andre. No, you're right. He had 39 tucks last year.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. Not on that pace right now, but trading for Elias Lindholm.
Oh, right.
So Canucks made some moves here lately, and they're pushing, man. They got a good team. We'll see what happens there. But
is that a good trade?
The trades, I think it's a good trade. I mean, I guess we'll find out. Like I said, he's not lighting it up like he was last year, so they obviously see something. So you got to trust your scouts, right?
You got to trust the scouts.
You got to trust them, and they do have a good team, so it'll be interesting. Oilers finally lost the game. Knobber, watch out for your job.
Oh man, he might
They're
probably the
16-1 after 17 games. Not just kidding, but man, 16 games. I watched the game. I stayed up because it was 1-1, and I'm like, I gotta see what happens.
I was hoping that they would break that record.
I kind of did too. I was pulling for it.
That's a hard thing to do, dude.
Man, that many. Someone said to me the other day, we were talking about their streak, and they're like, "Well, I haven't played." I know it was, but I don't want to say it was.
They haven't played hard
They
teams,
haven't been playing. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
No.
At this day and age in the league, you can lose to anyone at any night. We know that.
You don't win 16 games by accident.
Yeah, right. So anyway, they lost last night. We'll see what happens now. See if they can,
bounce back.
Yeah, bounce back. How would you go about that for next game?
Bounce back with another win, I guess.
Yeah, you got to bounce back.
Back on the train. Got a little announcement, Nast.
Oh yeah, the old Nasty Knuckles Golf Classic.
Oh yeah,
it's indoor, 5-iron golf in Fishtown. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I'm excited.
Are you bringing your own clubs?
No, I'm probably going to be using rentals.
Rentals?
Well, I guess. What else they got?
You can use Pac-Man's. He says he's going to be there. February 21st, 6:30 it starts. Should be so much fun. Place is great. It's awesome. We got a lot of people coming, hopefully.
Who's it presented by, Nast?
Garage Beer. Who else? Bam.
There we go.
What a summer beer. I drank the whole case the other night myself. Sorry if I got problems. It was so good, dude. I'm not kidding you, man. Oh my God, it's good.
So good.
It's
I
a
was
summer.
waiting for the seasons to change.
Well, it was still good, even though it's not summer yet. But can't wait to do that, man. It's going to be so much fun. We've been looking forward to this. Finally can announce it. We want everybody to come out, compete against us. You better go hit some balls because I've already had tax people were coming after you in rigs. I'm like,
God.
Have you seen Riggs hit the ball?
Yeah, well.
If you take your time, but listen, come play against us. We're gonna have giveaways. It's gonna be a fun night, man.
You gonna check out the swing?
I've seen that swing. Everybody's seen it. Debo is wearing black pants, black sweatshirt. We're indoor though, Debo.
Indoor, so
you can
he's
actually
good.
wear your shorts today. You can wear your shorts that night. It'll be awesome. We'll put more info out as we go along here, but it's in a couple weeks, and I can't wait. Everybody come join us. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. It's just fun just watching Riggs swing your club. So
We got to warm up for the
yeah,
spring and summertime.
women, men, everybody come on out. It's going to be a blast. Have some garage beer there. Get a little tasty
Two
taste.
other of our partners,
Yep,
including
yep.
our friends at Fans of Philly.
That's right. Can't
Leading
wait.
into-
Oh, you know what's coming up.
Oh, real quick. Where is it? Throw it on. What a
Right there, baller. Fans of Philly. MetLife.
Stadium Series.
Bus A. We're Bus
We're
A,
Bus A.
baby. Oh, we got our crew there. We got the Bugs of Rooney.
What time does the bus show up?
Now that I don't know.
Oh, well. Might want to get
You
a
don't need to
sketchy.
take the. I have a sketch.
You're not taking the bus?
Yeah, I'm taking a bus. I don't have the sketch though.
Oh.
I do have it, but I don't remember exactly what time we're
Okay.
leaving. I think like 1 or something.
All right.
But
like
that
it.
is going to be a blast as well. That's before our golf outing.
Yes,
But
it is.
It's going to be exciting. Fans of Philly, can't wait, man. 8 buses full.
8 buses,
Going.
Wow.
What a
No
party.
joke.
Bringing a table. Debo's coming off the top of the bus, lighting the table, baller. Bring the lighter fluid. We're not, and you know what I'm going to do? Pull a cowboy flat. I'm lighting that beard.
No.
It'll be gone.
Couldn't do that.
I got to do it.
It'd be very much fun.
It will for me.
No.
3rd-degree birds.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, man, can't wait for the Nasty Knuckles golf event.
Yep.
5-iron. Can't wait.
Very nice. We're ready.
We're ready.
Ready to rock 146. Their friend Corey Hersch.
That's right. Hershey.
Hershey, former pick of the New York Rangers.
That's right.
Spent a little time in Philly.
He did with the Phantoms.
Let's go talk to him.
Let's go.
All right. This episode is brought to you by Garage Beer. Check out their beer-flavored beer. Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. This week, we are happy to have a good buddy joining us. Our podcast today was drafted, Riley, in 1991 entry draft by the Rangers. 8th round, 169th overall. Same draft Big E was selected number 1 in. What a shit show that was. Great junior career, WHL, Kamloops, Mem Cup, CHL Goalie of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Not a big deal. Won a silver medal in the Olympics. Over 100 NHL games. This guy is a coach. He's a published author, public speaker, podcaster, and most importantly, he's a huge advocate for mental health.
Yes.
And used to be the lead singer of a band called Simply Red. Our good buddy, Corey Hersch. What's up, brother?
Oh, great to see you guys. Nasty, it's been a long time. You have not changed a bit. Just to tell everyone, I had a small stint with the Philadelphia Phantoms at the end of one season for about a month. So I got to know everybody in the organization, got to see how the organization was run. And I think the biggest takeaway from my time there was I remember seeing one of Homer and Clarkie's famous player meetings.
Yeah, those were interesting and intense most of the time.
Eye protection required.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, it's that was a good one. And a quick little story about that. I remember him going. We're all sitting in the room, and I think it was Pavel Brendel. Was it Brent? Is that his name?
Yes.
Pavel
Pavel
sitting
Brendel.
there, and he had requested a trade because he was in the minors, thought he was an NHL player. And Clarkie comes over, and he's going, he's giving it to everybody because we weren't playing well and we weren't winning. And he's like, Brendel, you wanted a trade? I got you on fucking speed dial. Nobody fucking wants you.
Right, he turned in. You remember?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. And I just got there. I'd been there like 4 days, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Well, Pav was like, his heart rate didn't get much.
Kind of like Kucherov in the All-Star game there.
Like Kucherov this weekend in the All-Star skills. But he's right. Hershey's right. He came in and he said, first thing he said was, first off, Pletka, you're done. Get out of here. Go upstairs. See Diana. You're out of here. And he's like looking around. He goes, go.
Like mid-game.
And so he leaves. And just like Hershey says, he goes, Pav, you're asking for a trade. You're on speed dial. Nobody wants you.
Wow.
Like that. And Pav's like, just zero respect. He's like leaning back. He's like, like that. Boys are like, holy cow, man. But yeah, you walk right into it. He's just getting there, and he has to come into that. It's like, oh shit, sorry, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Pletka. Yeah, I remember that. He wanted to trade too, or something, right?
Yeah,
that's
it was
great.
great.
And then he went after Gregor and Whitey, I think. And
he used to call them the I sisters, the IHL, because they were together. So he would just
they were soft. The other were like, oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you can back up that story because
I'll never forget that one, bro.
Yeah.
Never forget that one.
So walk into a shitstorm in 5 games.
Right away. So Hershey, man, like you said, man, it's been a while, buddy. What's going on? What are you up to? Where are you living? Let us know what's going on.
Well, I'm in Vancouver. I did the radio for the Canucks for about 5-6 years. And then I've gone full time into the realm of mental health. And for me, that's where my heart lies, trying to heal myself, trying to like help other people. For anybody out there, my story in my book is called The Saving My Life. I struggled with obsessive compulsive disorder when I played, and then moving forward, panic attacks and all that stuff. So, my goal now is to try and help other people so that they reach out, especially men, right? Like we don't typically ask for help. We'll just go through our shit and we'll let it happen. We're scared of what our buddies will think or what, someone else will think. I always say this, like, I'm more scared of who I would be if I didn't ask for help. Who gives a fuck what my buddies think, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Good go point. Get the help if you need it. And I try to be a living proof of that. If you do, hey, shit gets better, man. Like life gets better. And that's been my role right now. And then, my second thing that I've always wanted to do is get on the Nasty Knuckles podcast.
Yeah, here you are.
Yeah, right.
I'm on.
Living a dream. You're doing it.
I'm living the dream. So shout out to my good buddy Kat, Chris Felix, who had passed. And love being Riley Rouse and I. We talked about him a little bit and just what a good dude he was, and missed. But man, I think about him. I got a smile on my face every time I think about the guy. Yeah.
Same with me. I was with him when he left us, and I literally think about him every day. Like something pops in my head, and I'm real close with his Kim, his wife, and his two boys. Colin is playing pro. And Colby's doing real well in college. So yeah, great people. You're right, man. It just he always seemed to put a smile on your face, man. That guy, he was loud. You could hear him down the hallway. He was just great. And that laugh he had, but we miss him. We miss him. I appreciate you bringing him up because he's a great man.
What a huge heart. And a little quick story about Kat, because I met him in Binghamton. We were playing bingo.
Yeah.
One of our minor league games was on ESPN or something or one, and he had just kind of broke in and I'm like, Kat, you ever been on TV before? He's like, no. I'm like, tell your parents to watch. And he's like, what? Okay. So the game starts about second period. Someone crashes into me and I fucking flail. I go down, right? Pretend I'm hurt. Like I'm laying there.
Yeah.
Cat, ice, right? Cameras. I'm like, and the cat goes, Hershey, all right? I'm like, Cat, say hi to your mom and dad.
Come on, that's great.
That's awesome, man.
Anyway, we both
just fucking
laughing. Yeah. And I was like, Cat, I'm fine.
That's great.
And we had a bond like that. And just, what a great dude. And just a huge heart, right? Just the biggest heart in the world. So absolutely.
Yeah. Was that your first year? Was that 92 when you were with Cat?
That was there 93, 94.
Okay.
My last year I was in bingo. Then I got traded to Vancouver.
Right.
Then after that I got traded to Vancouver. Yeah. So I think it was like 94-ish. I was with the Rangers during the Stanley Cup. So I was the third goalie. I was a roster member. And got to hold the cup. I don't have my name or anything on the cup, but I was roster member. I got to see how it was done, Madison Square Garden.
That's awesome.
That's
fucking unbelievable. And just got to be part of that. But this my time with the Flyers and playing against the Flyers, I was just thinking of another Big E story. I remember when he first came to Oshawa, he was 16 years old, played against him in the Memorial Cup, and he dominated. So we went in 1990, went to the Memorial Cup in Hamilton. We were supposed to win. Oshawa beats us like 8-6. I was terrible, but people were like, well, why doesn't somebody just grab? He's 16. Why doesn't someone just grab him and beat the shit out of him?
Right.
And you're like, you fucking kidding me? He was like 6'4", 240.
He looked like a grown man.
Yeah, he did.
Like in junior hockey, as a 16-year-old, right? Like he had a man's body, like because he can't,
Yeah. You can't.
We used to play the Flyers in Vancouver on New Year's all the time. And I think you might have still been in minors. It was might have been your dad that was the trainer, but we used to call it the New Year's Day Massacre because Philly would come in and they would just fucking destroy us like 8 or 9 to 1 on New Year's. every fucking year. So that's my other Flyer story that I remember in the Big E, just barreling down on people. John LeClair standing in front of me. I'm 165 pounds. John LeClair standing in front of me, like, I'm not moving him.
Right.
Like, where would you like to stand, Mr. LeClair?
Right.
Wherever you want.
Just carve out a little place for him.
Right.
You know what? You know what's funny, Hershey, is I was actually with my first year in the league was with Florida Panthers, and then my next two I was in NHL. So the first time I ever saw you was in Van. Exactly, because I was there 90, 94, 95, 95, 96, and I was telling Riles earlier. I said I was standing down beside my dad on the bench, and you had the red locks, and they were a little bit of a flow going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's why I said about Simply Red, the band, because I used to love. They had a few hits, and I loved them. And my dad he's saying something to me, and I turn around and I look and I see you. I said, "Oh, that's the lead singer from Simply Red." I didn't know you. I knew who you were, but I didn't know you yet. I'd never met you, obviously. So that's why I said that. But I was going to say your first year pro, coming off obviously a very a great junior career. You go 35, 4, and 5. Your rookie year, man. That's fucking impressive, man. You're playing with men now. I think you ended up being AHL the goalie of the year. I think you won the award, right?
Yeah.
I was
up for player of the year. I won goalie of the year. I won rookie of the year. Like I just got on a tear. Won the Memorial Cup the year before. That year, then the following year was in the Olympics, got a silver medal. Then won the cup with the Rangers. But it was like I just went on an absolute tear. But then probably it was during the Stanley Cup run with the Rangers I got sick. So if you want to dip into my story a little bit, it was during the Rangers Cup run. We're in the second round when things just kind of went dark, I say, and started getting really obsessive, repetitive thoughts. People think people with OCD are all the hand washers and all that. How cute that is or whatever. I do everything in my head, so you can't outwardly see it. From there I got really sick. We won the Stanley Cup, and then I blew out of there. I didn't even go to the ticker tape parade, guys, because I was having panic attacks, depression. So I go home thinking this shit's going to go away, and it doesn't go away. And I don't want to drag down the interview here, but I'll tell you a little bit of what happened. And then, so I run to Kamloops, and the Rangers are kind of like, their brass is like getting an idea, like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Who doesn't stick with, you must be disgruntled or something. Right. And it was like the furthest thing from that. So about 2 weeks. So now we're probably end of July in 94. And this shit's not going away. And I'm hanging out with my buddies. I'm at a bar in Kamloops, and I'm looking for help or hope or anything, and there's nothing there. I actually end up making a suicide attempt.
Wow.
I tell the story because it's going somewhere. I'm not trying to drag down the podcast.
Right. Sure.
So unsuccessful, of course, but I suffered for another 3 years in silence. I get to training camp the next year. Rangers are trying to move me because they don't know what's wrong with me, or they just think I'm a bad guy. They moved me to Vancouver. I go to Vancouver, Nasty, and my first year in the NHL in Vancouver. And I say this, so people think that people with mental health issues are weak. I made the NHL with a full-blown, struggling, everyday panic attack, mental health issues. You're not weak just because you have mental health issues. It's beyond that. But from there, I always say this, and I'll tell the story quickly. My second year in Vancouver, and I say this because I want people to get help, the shit goes off the rails, right? Like, I didn't go get help for my stuff. And it's like a broken leg. You can't just walk around with a broken leg for 3 years and nothing happens. Like, you got to get it fixed. So we're in New York and in New Jersey on the island, and I'll tell you the story. And I'm back on my fucking knees where I was like when I was with New York when I first got sick, like panic attacks, and I can't do this anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I got two choices here. I can reach out and get help, or this time plan B, and we can really get it done. And that was how my thought was in my brain. It was November of my second season with Vancouver, and we were in New York. We played New York one night. We played New Jersey the next night, and Kirk McLean's hurt, and I got to play the games. And I'm like, I dropped 30 pounds. I was 145 pounds.
Jesus.
Wow.
So my teammates are looking at me like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? I remember going in the shower and coming out, Marty's yelling, and looks at me and goes, Hershey, what's wrong with you? And I'm trying to hide from everybody, right? Because it's the guys, it's the locker room and all that stuff. So the next morning we're in the island and I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore. So I go get the trainer, Mike Bernstein, and I pull him way away from everybody. And I'm like, Bernie, I'm not doing very well. And he's like, Hershey, we can see that. I'm like, no, Bernie, I'm fucking suicidal. Right. And so Bernie, his face, I remember he's like, holy shit, just went white. He's like, Hershey, okay, you got to play. Just get ready to play. I'll take care of this. Okay. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just go, I play that, right? I play that night. I'm fucking terrible. I get in a fight. We lose 5-4 in overtime. My teammates are really starting to hate me now because I'm late for meetings. I'm not hanging out with the guys. I'm 140. Like I'm just a shell of a human being. The next day we go into New Jersey and I got to play again back to back. We have a morning skate that next morning. And I remember in the morning skate, guys are shooting pucks at me. I can't see pucks. Like I'm having like dissociation, out of body experience. It's like when you have so much anxiety, the brain is just, it's fried. And I skate over the coach, Tom Rennie, and I'd never pulled myself from a game. I'm like, Tom, I can't play. And Tom's like, okay, Hershey, I got this. Go in the locker room, change. I'll figure this out, whatever. So I go over to Tom Rennie. He calls like, I'm in the locker room. I change. Tom Rennie calls an emergency meeting with all the players. And I'm in the corner and I've got my head in my knees. I'm 145 pounds. I'm a shell of a human being. Like I'm suicidal again. Like I'm on the edge. Like I'm hanging by a thread. And in this locker room, all of my teammates are sitting there. They come off the ice. They're like, what the fuck's going on? My teammates are like Pavel Bure, Trevor Linden, Russ Courtnall, all these guys, Jyrki Lume, Dave Babich, all these guys that were Alex Mogilny, friends of mine and peers. And I'm a shell of a human being. And Tom Rennie comes in and goes, hey, Hershey's not doing well. Mike Fountain's going to start. If anybody asks, he's got the flu, right? And it was just the most embarrassing, shameful moment of my life. But nobody knew what to do about mental health. Like nobody knew what to do. Right? Like Tom didn't know what to do. So that was it. So I get on the bus and I come on the bus and I sit at the front of the bus because I'm so fucking embarrassed, right? Like, and I'm just dying inside. And I remember looking out the window, my teammates are rolling by me. We're going back to the hotel for our pregame meal. And I remember looking out the window, I had a tear rolling down my face because I knew I'd just throw my NHL career away, right? And I say this because I did, but I also saved my own life that day. I went back to Vancouver. They had a psychologist come to my apartment. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to tell this guy everything. And if he tells me I'm crazy, well, then fuck, plan B. We'll get her done. So I spill everything to this guy, and after about 20 minutes, he looks at me and goes, you have obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm like, what the fuck is that? He's like, well, it's a mental health issue. It's not treatable, or it's not curable, but it's treatable. You're going to go on. You're going to live a great life. We'll get you treatment, medication, whatever you need. And I just sat there bawling in front of him because 3 years, a suicide attempt, almost killed myself again because I didn't go get help. I didn't ask for help, right? Mm-hmm. And it would have been so simple just to go ask for help. So from there, it wasn't easy. It was 10 years before I found someone that could truly help me. Another 10 years before my story came out in the Players Tribune, which I talked about everything. So it was 20 years till I felt comfortable enough to tell my story. And I say this to you guys, that article in the Players Tribune, 2 million hits in under an hour. And I was terrified.
Wow.
Suicide attempt. It's still one of the biggest hitting articles they've ever had. Like LeBron James, Tiger Woods. Here's a kid from Calgary, 100 NHL games, and my article hit as much as hard as that. So, since then, and this is where I'm kind of going with all of this is that I'm living proof that if you get help, it gets better, right? Just go get the help. But since then, I've gone into the realm of like psychedelics, plant medicine, with traditional therapy, and I got to do some work with Riley here in the past little bit, and it was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. I feel like a completely different. Am I healed? No, but I have such a different outlook with plant medicine than I've ever had in my life, and it's like, man, I wish I would have tapped into the stuff when I was a player, you know. And Riley, I'll let you speak to about it, but it's like, you know, I wish we could get more people and more, you know, it's not legal in some places, it's legal in others. But it's such a great way to heal, and it's the path that a lot of people are going. And I'm excited, you know, for the first time in a long time again about my mental health.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
Long way to go about it.
Yeah.
So fucking cool. I'm in such a great place now. And I'm so happy that, again, you know, I couldn't see it tomorrow. I couldn't see there's people out there listening right now that I know you can't see it tomorrow. There is a tomorrow. Just get there and get there however you can, you know. And I've just been so happy to work with you, Riley. And then again, to see you again, Nasty, like 20 years later.
I know. I wish you were in the studio. It'd be great, but we'll eventually we're going to catch up.
Yeah.
It's too bad we were in Vancouver last year too, Riley and I.
Yeah. Well, we have to make another
One
trek
of our
out
sponsors
there.
takes us on trips, but
Yeah.
we'll definitely do that. And I got a question,
Hershey,
if you don't mind, and it may be a dumb question, but you said in that second round, you've been pro, right? You're with the Rangers. Yeah. Is that when it first hit you, or did you younger? Did you ever like feel a little off, but no big deal? But it just hit you like that, right out of nowhere?
Yeah, OCD is a little bit different, like depression, trauma, PTSD, that'll creep up on you. There are, like, when I look back though, there's things when I was a kid that happened that I got little bits of it, but it didn't quite catch, you know?
Right.
And then I went on with stuff, but then it's almost like, it's like the wires frayed when I was a kid. And then that moment in New York was just like the wires disconnected. Like it just broke.
Just the stress of the situation, you think? Was it stress related, or?
I think you're predestined with, you know, I think a lot of it's genetics. Like, you know, like there's people in my family that have OCD. My daughter has OCD. And here's what I say for your listeners is that, like, my daughter, when she was 15, she came to me and she's like, Dad, something funky's going on, because we always talked about mental health in our house, because I said, hey, you come to me. We went and we got her to a psychologist. She gets diagnosed with OCD. So here's the point of that story is because we talked about it, my daughter will never get to the place I got to, where I wanted to take my own life. Right. Yeah. Just because. Right. So that's the importance of education on mental health is, you know, may have saved my daughter's life. Right. Mm-hmm. And all we did was have a conversation. Right. Like, yeah. And made it a safe place for her to come to. She still struggles, but she knows what she does. And, you know, and that's my point of why we need to tell our kids, man, and all that. And you know, it's such a huge thing, but, and such an easy thing to talk about.
Yeah.
It must have been so scary for you. I mean, like when this happened, you're still really a kid. I mean, you were young.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're a kid. I mean, I just can't imagine. I mean, obviously I can't imagine the way you were feeling, but it had to be a scary fucking thing, man.
Oh, it's terrifying. Well, the worst part is how lonely you feel, because you feel like you're the only one, because, and that's probably the worst part of it. And then not being able to ask for help, because you've been taught that, you know, asking for help is a sign of weakness, or asking for help, everyone's going to think you're crazy if you ask for help. Right. Like, so there was the toss up between my NHL career and getting help and getting healthy. And I chose my NHL career, which, you know, which over self, you know, it almost killed me. Like,
yeah.
Right.
So, and if I would have just been able to go ask, I could have had both. Right. Like,
that's exactly it.
That was the time. That's what it was. We're in a much better time right now.
Yeah.
And just, you know, like I said, and working with, you know, some of the psychedelics and the new treatments that they have. And just, it's not only that, it's everything around it, eating better. You know, I went through a big thing of self-hate in the past couple of weeks, and I'm not going to get too hokey on you, but I had to really understand what everyone's like, oh, you just need to love yourself. You just got to love yourself, right? You know, go in the mirror, tell yourself you love yourself 10 times. And I'm like, all right, fuck. Okay. So I do it. I'd be like, all right, I guess I love myself now. Fuck, let's go. No, right? Like,
yeah.
think positive, you know, man, just think positive, you know?
Yeah.
But once you really delve into it, like I did with Riley, and we did a lot of integration and talk, it's all about the little things you do for yourself. It's like eating well, exercise, and getting shown all of that. That's what self-love is, right? It was really cool. It's trying to change my perspective. But anyways, let's tell some hockey stories. Fuck.
Yeah, well, I did want to say, like, we appreciate you being vulnerable, and like that is the most important piece piece here. I think is being comfortable enough to open up and ask for help, because we live in a different time than when you played, right? The mental health thing wasn't even really talked about. So I can see these organizations, like especially the Rangers, being like, what the hell do we even do? We don't know. And so it was probably both sides scary, and things have changed. So I think for any of the listeners out there, it's never a bad time to ask for help. In fact, you could save so much time and years off your life if you do it sooner than later, and you could preserve both, right? I mean, you could have had both, like you said, but you're a voice for mental health, Canada, US, everywhere, and you're constantly evolving. You're not just stuck or staying the same and happy with it. I think you're constantly looking for more, and knowing that there's more out there. So props to you for putting yourself out there and staying committed, because that's, to me, the most important piece.
Yeah, and absolutely, and also talent kept me from being a better goalie too. Talent and size. Fucking 5'10" goalies are like 6'7" now. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, right.
We're the biggest guys on the team, right? I mean, remember Bernie? Like, what's Bernie? 5'10",
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Right? Like, fucking, and great goalies. My favorite goalie though was Pelle Lindbergh. Now, see, you would have met Pelle, wouldn't you? That's why. I mean, I love Pelle. Like, that's.
I met Pelle. He was really close with my dad.
Oh,
that's Pelle. He signed it. It says, "To cool Derek, best wishes, Pelle Gump Lindbergh."
Oh,
and
that is
the
awesome.
reason he said "to cool Derek" was because for my birthday, I was a big basketball. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but I was a big basketball. I played basketball in college, and it's my favorite sport. But he got Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, the guy who used to break the backboards. I don't know if you're aware of him, but he signed a picture for me, and it said, "To cool Derek, look out below. Here's a birthday dunk for you."
Oh, that is
and
so
Pelle thought it was hilarious, so he wrote "To cool Derek." So that's a possession I love, and I actually have Pelle's travel bag from the '80 Olympics. And it is in mint condition because I put it in plastic. I still have it. Yeah, I still have it. But yeah, he was really cool. And him and my dad lived together 1 year in Maine. And then when he got called up to the Flyers, I used to come up a lot to see my dad. And I would spend one night with Pelle, and we'd like go to a movie and stuff like that. So I knew him pretty well. Yeah, he was a great guy, man. It's so sad. But
yeah. So Bob Froese was my goalie coach in New York. So Frosty.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
That's yeah. But like growing up, like Pelle was like, that's, I mean, like we idolize. I mean, I had Mike Palmatier when I was younger, but Pelle was like that was my teen years. Like that's who I wanted to be,
Yeah.
And when I talked to Bob a little bit about the Flyers teams back then, he said, obviously Pelle's tragedy changed a lot of things, but he said, "Fuck guys, yeah, it was like, they were tough teams, and they played hard and they went hard too, right?" Like,
yes, they did. They did. I mean, it was back then. It was right after practice, Hirsch. I mean, they were right.
Oh,
that was one of the issues was they had a bar upstairs and the boys would just go right up, and then yeah, right inside the Coliseum, the old Coliseum there. But he was a great guy. He was one hell of a goalie too.
Yeah, I idolized him. Yeah,
we have this one of our big sponsors is Clear Rum, and we do this thing with Clear Questions, and one of them was the most skilled player, and who I thought was one of the most skilled players, and Riley goes number 32, which was his number with the Flyers, and I said Daniel Lacroix. Hey, Daniel Lacroix played in bingo. He had 100 points.
Yeah,
oh, shit,
and so did the Fonz, Ferentino. I actually have one of his jerseys. Doomy gave me one of his jerseys. Yeah.
Wow.
So when you said that, it's kind of funny because he actually in American League, he scored 100 points.
Wow. That's really good.
Oh, fuck. I was talking to Riley about Frank the Animal by Lois. And now there was a point where he was more popular than Lindros in Philly, was there not?
It was crazy. He had billboard. The guy had a billboard in Philadelphia. He's an American Hockey League guy. That place, I'll tell you what, he should have got paid a lot more because he was responsible for that building being packed all the time. I mean, he really was. Yeah. It was funny, Hershey, because Billy Barber's coaching, right? And we would be up, we had really good teams there early on, and the place would be packed, and they're always either chanting animal because, or we want Frank. So there'd be like seven, just once in a while, like, whistle goes 7 seconds and the whole building, we want Frank. And Frankie would be sitting there kind of laughing and everybody's just watching. Billy's like, all right, go ahead, but don't do anything stupid. Yeah, okay. Frankie, 17,000 people are yelling his name, and he'd grab some poor bastard, just beat the shit out of him. But he's still a popular guy around here. He's actually been on the show a couple times, and we still have people going, we need a 3.0 with the animal.
Oh, yeah.
We want him back. Oh,
man. That's hilarious. Yeah. And, I mean, just those guys though, like the job that they had, like Riley, even you, like, with the job you guys had, I can't imagine the stress of having to fucking go into every game and look across and knowing you got to fight someone and they're terrified of you and you're terrified of them, how do you, like the stress of that, Riley, like how have you gotten past any of that? I'm doing the interview now, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Right? That's fine.
That's a great question. Well, man, I think to get through it at the time, there was obviously a lot of coffee, a lot of stimulants, a lot of kickball to take my mind off it, a lot of partying, at the time, you just finding ways to cope because you don't know any better, right? You've never understood stress at that level. You understand even the states of anxiety that you're in. So, it was just finding ways to get through but then, when I retired, it was just like, this weight just fell right off. It was an opportunity to breathe and just to find peace in it all, right? Because you never really fully settle during a hockey season because the fight's over. You could be fighting again that game, and you're just or worrying about tomorrow's fight, depending who you're playing. So. Yeah, it was just it was just one of those things you just dealt with. It eventually took its toll. It just fried my nervous system. It was just like it was just a lot. Always thinking about it. So I don't miss that piece of it. But the fight itself was the most enjoyable part because that was the easy part.
Can you imagine saying that, Hershey, fighting
right?
George Laraque was the most enjoyable part of it?
Well, thinking about getting my ass whooped by George Laraque it was worse than
try taking
fighting.
A nap, eh? Like Hershey, like knowing you're going to probably fight George Laraque. We've talked about this a million times. People always ask that, but yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we talked about Brashear. I played with Brash in Vancouver, and I never saw him lose a fight. Like I didn't see him lose one fight. I saw him actually almost kill somebody, right? Like and you had talked, you had fought him a couple times too, didn't you?
Yeah. I think at least 4 times. But yeah, he sealed my eyes up pretty good the one time. Man, it was just one of those guys you fight, and it's like you're just fighting out of survival. It's just like making sure your head doesn't get knocked off, right? Because he's just that much bigger and heavier, and just a mutant. But I knew Brash too, right? I mean, from Philly, I trained with him, and it was just business. But I don't miss that. It was it was a lot.
The love hug that he used to get guys in, he'd get you in the love hug.
Well, I didn't mind the love hug until he started throwing love bombs to the side of the head, and
what else has been interesting is Mike Tyson has gone into a lot of the realm of natural healing.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool to see. Like, and to think of who he was when he was younger to who he was today is it's pretty cool. How did you get it started and all that stuff, Ross?
It was all around the brain and concussion related stuff. So that's how I got introduced to all this. It was so much more than that, right? I mean, the physical is one piece, right? Healing the brain, the anti-inflammatories, the neural regeneration. But I think like beyond that, it was the esoteric, the more the spiritual. It just helps you evolve past your old identity and kind of have some closure and some peace in your past and what you did and your struggles and your traumas and kind of have a little bit of a new perspective moving forward. So it's been an interesting ride for sure, and to see a guy like Mike Tyson, who's arguably one of the baddest dudes on the planet, becoming so gentle and and having that forgiveness and acceptance and just constantly doing the work, right? It's one of those paths that never ends, right? It's just kind of forever. So just find new ways to optimize and stay well. But yeah, just trying to help people as much as I can. We connected over a year ago, so it was nice to kind of reconnect and do some more immersive work, because I think there's more to it than just the psychedelics, right? We have to, as you alluded to earlier, just have more of a relationship with our physical bodies, a healthier one with our food and our thinking and our thoughts and all that good stuff. So he never would have thought getting punched in the head for 8 years straight could have led you down this path, but it certainly did.
Nasty, when are we going to get you down the natural path?
Well, I'm on the natural path. Yeah. I think. I think I'm on it, but
you got to be ready for it.
Yeah, you got to be ready for it. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm so happy to see what you're doing, and obviously, I'm so proud of this guy.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many people he's helped with all this, and I don't use the right words, but I just say, dude, he's helping people, and I get a lot of friends now, and just people I meet at the rink. I work with a junior team now. I have my own shop here, obviously, to do the podcast, and my son is a goalie, Hershey, so I'm dealing with that.
Yeah,
he's 9, but I get tons of people come up to me and ask me, like, hey, do you think Riles will talk to me? I'm like, dude, he'll talk to anybody. But it's awesome to see what you guys do, because I think a lot of people, we probably said this before, but a lot of people look at you guys as athletes, obviously, and they don't understand you're humans.
That's it.
I mean, some do, but you know what I mean, Hershey. Well, they get paid a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. You're human beings. And it's really cool to see what you guys are doing. And I've seen Riley I've just a lot of buddies, a lot of guys, ex-players that he's really done a lot for. And it's really cool to see, man. It really is.
No, I agree. I mean, he's helped me so much and changed my life, right? Really helped me. And just a lot of it, just learning so much from the knowledge he has and just being able to see Riley, you're fucking tough, man. You had to fight some tough dudes and to know that, just being able to help people like you have, and just it's really fucking cool. I'm so grateful for it. But without getting really fucking mushy, and I'd love to hug both of you. But let's get back to telling some more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was I getting ready to ask him? Oh, I was gonna say you brought up the Olympics there too. 30 saves. Yeah, great game. 30 saves in the semifinal when you were at the Olympics there, and then the gold medal game. I mean, that's probably a stinger, but 7 rounds, and I mean, I guess at least it's Forsberg that gets the goal, but I'll never forget that.
That's it. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, what was that like? I was fortunate enough to work with Team USA 2010 at the Olympics, and we lost in the gold medal game. Obviously, I wasn't a player. I was doing the equipment. But, man, that was one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. Probably up top there highlights. But I just wanted to ask you about that. Even though you weren't able to get the gold, you still got a silver medal and big part of that team.
Well, we were going into the Olympics. The U.S. kicked our ass every time. They had the Ferraro brothers. Peter Laviolette was on the blue line. Snowy was a goalie.
Yeah.
And they would kick our ass. And then right before Christmas, we got Paul Kariya and Peter Nedved joined our team. And that completely changed our team. I mean, 2 great players, right?
Yeah.
So we go to the Olympics. We get all the way to the finals against Sweden. U.S. got knocked off, I think, by Finland. And then which was great for us because we didn't play them very well, but yeah, we go 2-2 after overtime, after 2 periods, overtime, 10 minutes, 2-2, went to 5 shooters shootout, still tied 2-2, then went into sudden death shootout. And that's the story kind of goes like this. So Sweden shot first, and a guy named Magnus Svensson. He missed the net. I stopped him, and then Peter Nedved went on Tommy Salo. He missed. So now we're still in sudden death. And the coach of the Swedish team, I guess, asked Håkan Lube and Mats Naslund if they wanted to shoot. They were like older veteran players that had Stanley Cups, right? Like they came back to Sweden to finish their careers playing in the Olympics. They wouldn't fucking shoot. They're like, no. And that's when 20-year-old phenom Peter Forsberg stood up and said, I'll shoot. And fucking goddamn Peter Forsberg. So he comes down on me and he does that move with the backhand, which is now known as the Forsberg, right?
Yeah.
And I said to Riley, Riley, like, do you know what the Forsberg is? He's like, yeah, fuck. I was like, do you know who scored it? He's like, yeah, well, Peter Forsberg. And I'm like, do you know who he scored on? He's like, no. Well, fuck, that was me, Riley.
That's unbelievable.
So Sweden wins gold. We win silver. But you know what? It's really cool because it was one of the greatest games and it's world famous, right? So it's actually helped me be able to do what I do today, right? It gave me a platform. People remember, from the Olympics, like it gave me a household name, and that's, so it's kind of like, I look back, do I wish we had gold? Yeah, but fucking Peter Forsberg.
Yeah.
But no, I got a silver medal, and that's pretty fucking cool.
That's great. It's really cool.
So blessed to have it. And then, like I say, and then 2 months later, although I got sick, I'm holding the Stanley Cup, drinking out of the Stanley Cup,
Wow.
Yeah,
so
right.
I was just on an incredible run. It was like, and I'm not going to get too hokey. The universe is like, we're going to show you everything. We're going to give you everything, but fuck, you're going to go through it now, So it's like, and it's all, lessons I've learned and been able to, and like I say, man, fuck, and just go get the fucking help if you're struggling. Like, like your buddies don't care. And if they do, they're not your fucking buddies. Go find
right.
Exactly.
Right. Like, so, because I couldn't imagine, let's say, I did take my own life. I've got 3 kids. I've got fucking, now stuff I couldn't see. I'm hanging out with you guys. And, like things are fucking are so awesome. And that's what I try and say is I'm living proof. Just go get the fucking help.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking, you don't have to be tough. Just go get it. Like it's
it.
Shame in it,
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to ask you, you don't want to be on the Swedish stamp?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the stamp.
Yeah, the stamp. Yeah.
Fucking Peter Forsberg. Yeah, I'm on a Swedish postage stamp. I said, "Hey, listen to this one." So, I'm playing in Sweden. I'm finishing my career right at the end of my career. So I was playing. We were playing on the road. I think I was playing for Timrå or Malmo. Can't remember. But anyways, I had a bad period. We're on the road, and I'm coming off the ice, and I'm fucking pissed. We're down like 4-0 or something. And some fans looking over yelling over the glass, going, the stamp. And I looked up and I said, hey, buddy, you know what? Every time you use that fucking stamp, you're licking my ass. You know that?
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's awesome.
It's
That's a great way to. That's awesome.
It was just, every once in a while you get one fucking, and I was like,
you gotta get them, right?
Fuck, I was pissed. Yeah. But now I feel bad about saying that, but I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Was there a story involving that stamp, like where you had the ability actually of you being in it, and you didn't allow them to have your likeliness? Is that how that went?
Yeah, I didn't know how all that worked, right? But so they have to. It's you get paid for your likeness, right? You can't just use someone's, So my agent was like, yeah, you got to compensate us for using, his likeness. He's not just going to give it to you. And then we never heard back from them, and they changed the number and a couple things, and I ended up getting some bad publicity out of it. And I was like, "Fuck you," I didn't really know I was a kid, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that's how that ended up going, and that's how that ended up happening. But it all worked out. It's all good. And Riley but it's like I say, all that stuff made me the ability to do what I do today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, build that platform.
Yeah, you gave me a platform. So, at the time you're like, but now I'm like, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful.
Yeah,
for
right.
Through. Did it suck? Yeah. Do I still struggle? Yeah, fuck. But I have gratitude for it because I'm like, like look at the people. Like I just think I'm thankful I get nasty. Fuck, it's been 20 years. Like
I know, man.
Thankful we get to chat. I'm thankful I got to meet you, right? Now we get to tell stories about fucking Pelly Lindbergh and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I get to meet Riley. Like it's well, I don't know if I should be grateful for that or not, but fucking no, best fucking thing I've ever done was connecting with Riley and just being able to just hear what he has to say, his philosophies, what he's learned and stuff, and it's fucking awesome. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective when you talk about like darkness being the foundation for all the positive and the good you can do, right? Being of service. It's like at the time it doesn't seem like like there's a purpose for it, right? But there always is, and you just have to work through the weeds a little bit to see that. And I think you obviously have done that and living it now. So props.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, man. If you're going out there, you're struggling right now, go get the help. Fucking if you need it, because something better is coming for you, right? I mean, you're learning your lesson right now. Something better is coming for you, and just like you, Nasty, you're getting it right now because you're a goalie dad now. So you're getting yours.
Boy, man. What I worry about the most is like it being a 2-2 game and him letting a muffin in, and you don't know my son. He does. I don't know if it even bothered Elvie. My son's name's Elvis, but I worry about that. Maybe when he gets a little older, maybe it'll start, but he's doing really well. I made a AAA team this year here in
awesome.
Philadelphia Hockey Club. Yeah, he's doing well. He's got a great bunch of kids, great dads. We're lucky because you've probably seen it in Reeks, and I know Riley has. Some of these parents, man, they drive kids not to want to play hockey, but we've got a really, really good group. So it's a lot of fun. But I think I get nervous. He doesn't get nervous.
Dad doing the old air catch or air blocker?
Oh no, I'm just watching and I just like Hershey, the music's going, every puck stop, he's just dancing. Like he's a bit of a character. I have to send you a couple videos, but
gotta be loose, man.
Yeah, he is. He's loose.
Yeah,
he's loose.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to ask you about when you went to Van, when you get traded. I was 95, I believe.
Yeah.
That was a great opportunity for you. You were there a lot, and that's actually where I said I first saw you. But you played with, I think, Mogilny, I know you played with Mogilny, but you had some really good players there. But like when you first saw Bure, because you played with Bure too, right?
Yeah,
he's pretty fast. The Russian Rocket, he's pretty fast. But which one of those guys were you more impressed with, like Mogilny, or was it just kind of a different kind of a thing? Because you play with some really good players.
I hung out with Mogilny quite a bit. It was really he's a really good dude. Pav kind of hung out on his own. He had his own, he'd get off the plane and he'd go somewhere else. But that was just Pav. Good guy. Pav was electric. So he'd pick up the puck and something was going to happen, and it was going to be exciting. But it was all about Pav, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alex could do everything. He could check, he could pass, he could shoot, he could, as a well-rounded a player as you could ever see. He was so fucking good. And guys would say they couldn't knock him off the puck. He was just too strong. And why that guy isn't in the Hall of Fame, I don't understand why not. 77 goals, something like that.
Yeah.
He told me, listen to this story. You've been to the Odd in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the old building in Buffalo, Alex told me the story. He said they had a play where they would dump the puck in, and the Zamboni was in the corner of the arena. It wasn't behind the net or anything like that. But the Zamboni door, since it was such an old arena, the Zamboni driver would kick the door as the puck was coming. And when he kicked the door, it would hit the puck and the puck would go right into the slot.
No way.
Alex said he must have scored 10 goals that year that way.
Wow.
That play with the Zamboni driver.
Oh my
God.
God.
And so that's one of the cooler stories of those old buildings, right?
We had Matthew Barnaby on. I wish I'd have known that, because I would have brought that up to him. He was on a few weeks ago as we were talking about the Odd. I love that play. It was a really cool place to see game.
Yeah,
that's great. It was funny. I remember I was working in a visiting room when I first got to Philly, and I was fortunate. I got to travel and everything with the team, but I was in charge of the visiting room, and that's kind of how I got to know a lot of guys, because I was always down there. But I'll never forget, I was standing there, and he was Pizza was their medical guy, Jim Pizzatella. He's really well known for making the robes for the tough guys and stuff. And anyway, they're sitting there talking, and they were always Don King. You felt like Don King was in there with pizza. Who you gonna go tonight, Razor? Who you gonna go Mayday? You know, like, so we were sitting there the one night, and Pizza goes, Who's got Lindros tonight? Who's gonna take care of him? And I swear to God, Mogilny turns around and goes, "You want me to go him?" And I was like, yeah, I obviously he was kidding, but just the way he said it, he acted serious. I was like, this dude's cool, man. Like, yeah, you want me to go him? I was like, oh,
I got another good Mogilny story. So Mike Keenan was our coach in Vancouver. Keenan came then. And I think we'd lost like fucking 20 games in a row or something. We were fucking terrible. Guys didn't want to play for him, right? So he comes in and he's having the Clarkie meeting where he's going around the room to everybody. You know, and so he's ripping into guys, and he never ever ripped into Alex. And Alex is tying his skate, and he's kind of leaning down, and he goes, and he's like, "You fucking Mogilny." And then Alex looks up and goes, he's like, he said something about Alex, and Alex looks up, he goes, "You think I'm fucking scared of you? I've had people threaten my life, my family. I defected when I was 18 years old. You think I'm fucking scared of you? Go fuck yourself."
Wow.
Could you imagine?
Keenan, like, blank, white, and fucking left the room.
No shit, eh?
There you go, Uncle Mikey.
And Alex never said anything at all. Like he was quiet but you think of what those guys in that generation of Russian, they were getting extorted, right? Like they were going through it. You know, and that was my Mike.
Wow,
that's a
crazy.
great story, man. Yeah. Wow, that's
Mike.
Awesome.
Mike left me alone. He just never played me. He left me alone.
I guess there's not much to rip on.
No, he just never played me. Like I think I sat like 20 games in a row once. I think I played with Snowy in Vancouver. And Snowy ruined. Was it nasty? Did you help Snowy with the big shoulder pads?
Man, those
ruined
things
it for all of us.
Oh my God, were those awful or what, man? Do
that
you
was
remember that?
Yeah.
So his chest protector.
Yeah.
He
built them up.
They were up in his ears.
Yeah.
What's the advantage? Is the extra space there?
Well, I mean, I guess if you go down, I mean, you got this much extra.
Yeah, but you don't have much mobility.
Wow. It didn't look good. And you're right. He ruined it for you're right.
It probably didn't feel good either. I can't imagine.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, because then they started bringing in the fucking rules, and you know, I played
calipers,
against,
you know,
the calipers. I played against Patrick Waugh, and I never really cheated that much. I didn't really know how. And then I played against Patrick Waugh in the playoffs, and he skates by me, and I'm like, holy fuck! He had like these hip pads, like extra pads between his legs, like fucking under his armpits, and I'm like, no wonder I'm fucking losing.
He's not getting scored on.
I'm not cheating.
Some extra pads.
Who was the goalie? There was a goalie. My dad told me that a goalie like put a little fishnet thing.
Just Tony O.
Yeah, that's who. And so if it went, it would catch, and it would go through. It was like
great idea.
Yeah, he was telling me that.
Can't cut that.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
Pill and net in the old 5.
Yeah,
that's why you weren't a 50 goal scorer, Riley. You got
there you go.
That's why you didn't get 50.
That's it.
Goalies were cheating.
They're cheating.
That's right.
Extra equipment.
That's
you know,
right. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, man. That's what he said.
Marty Pirco had this thing where if it hit him in the chest, his pants formed like a pocket in front of him. So it would fall. It would hit him in the chest, and it would fall in his pants like a little pocket. And I was like, I'm not fucking cheating enough. I had no idea.
You gotta get more creative there, Hershey.
Right. Then they brought in the rules. Yeah.
And they brought the right. Exactly. I got a question about like goalie partners like throughout your career. I'm sure obviously you watched the game. Swayman and Omar in Boston. They really support each other. I don't think it's a fake thing. And I'm not saying other teams don't, but even my son and his little partner, Max, they do the hug, you know, they do the whole thing after they win. But was there anyone that you played with that was like that you were really tight with and you felt like you guys both pushed each other but were supportive?
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to think. Like, it's a tough relationship because you want to play, and
right?
If the other guy plays really well, you sit on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually a pretty good mind fuck, because you're like, you know, I really like this guy. He's a good dude. We have fun. We're good, you know, like everything. But if he keeps winning, I don't get to play, right?
Right.
So there's a fine balance. And there's a healthy, you can make the competition healthy. I tried to separate it, from, being, competitive off the ice and being competitive on the ice and push that. But, like guys that I got along with, I mean, I got along with Snowy pretty well, played with him. Yeah. Kirk McLean and I, I don't know if Kirk didn't like me, but today he's one of my really good buddies. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's really cool. So that way, thinking of some of the partners I had, Litz in Philly when the fans.
Yeah, I mean that guy. Yeah,
Neil Little, he's a fucking best. Like everybody's a good guy and everybody's pretty good. It's more the ones you remember that you didn't quite get along with, and made it. There's some stories like Eddie Belfour, apparently Jeff Hackett would put his pads out. And Eddie'd be like, you don't put your fucking pads out. There were certain guys like that there, but there wasn't that many. Most of the guys were fucking really good people. But I mean, I played on so many teams. Nasty played with Snowy, Kirk McLean, Arders Urbe. Oh, Arders Urbe. I got sent to the minors for Arders Urbe, and he apologized to me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, Archie, don't worry about it. It's part of the game, right? So Mike Richter.
Yeah.
Good dude. He had quads on him that I'd never seen before. Like tree stumps,
Yeah.
Those are the guys that you remember, and just great people and good goalies. But and you're bringing up your Pelle Lindbergh story. I'm so jealous right now. So fucking cool. Like his mask. Where do they have his mask, or is it?
I think it's in NHL. Yeah, it's in the Hall of Fame. I think they have his mask there.
Now, did your dad make masks?
No, he didn't make any. No, he didn't make them. I actually got my dad a mask for Father's Day years ago because he played for a lot of teams. He was a trainer, but when he grew up, he had a full ride. He was a defenseman, but when he was 16, he lived in North Carolina, and we had a team in the Eastern League there. And the goalie, when he was 16, got a new set of gear, and they said, Sudsy, throw these on. You're going in the net for practice every day. So that's how he kind of became a goalie. And then he ended up getting played minutes in the American League, the Eastern League, the International Hockey League, and he backed up 2 games for the Flyers. Emergency.
That's fucking cool.
And a funny story, Hershey, real quick. I just happened to turn a TV on Sunday because down south we didn't get hockey games a lot, but we had Home Team Sports, which is a sports channel, and I could watch all of the Washington Capitol games. Well, turn the TV on 1:00, sit down, and there's a picture of my dad on the screen. And I'm like, and he's in his Maine Mariners uniform, and it's a still picture, and it's Mike Emmerich, Doc Emmerich, is calling the game. And he goes, not situated at the bench is Dave Sudsy Settlemyre, the head trainer, but he's been called into backup duty today. And I'm like, of course, I'm like 16. I'm like, oh my God. So right away I get my phone and I call the locker room because I know the number, right? I called it, and my dad answers. He says, training room. And I'm like, Dad, are you going to play? He goes, Biff, I got to call you back, man. and he hangs up on me. So he called me afterwards, and he wasn't sure because Kenny Raggett took a puck in warm up in his neck. So he couldn't go. So Pete Peters hadn't played in 2 weeks. So Pete starts dehydrating. He's cramping. And my dad is, I sweated through 4 shirts. He's like, because I'm like, he didn't even go to the bench because he was scared to go to the bench. So he sat up in the coach's offices watching. And so he told me this after. He's just like, I'm sorry, I couldn't talk. He goes, I was so afraid I was going to get thrown in this game. And it was they had to win.
Oh, he was shitting his pants.
Oh, exactly. We actually talked about this the other day. And I said, yeah, but as a kid, I'm like, I don't care if you get scored on. If you get in the game, it's going to be the coolest thing ever. But man, it was crazy.
That is an awesome story. I mean, how great would that have been if he would have got into the game?
I would have loved it. Cool. It would have been great. They did an interview one time because they do little segments on him once in a while because Hexy didn't do morning skates, especially in the playoffs. So they were doing this special. I have it somewhere on video, and they're asking all the players, and the players are kind of giving it to them a little. Well, you get Rick Tocchet says, well, you come down the ice, there's a lot of room to shoot at there, and then they asked Bernie Perrott, and Bernie goes, I'm employed as the goaltender instructor, but miracles I don't perform. He says.
That's what he did perform a couple miracles.
Yeah, Bernie did. Yeah, you're right.
Bernie did, saying, even Bernie saves like something.
Yeah,
than
saves
Jesus.
more than God or something.
Yeah,
like
more
Yeah.
than Jesus. Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
But Riley, you scored on Carey Price your first goal. You told me. So I mean, fuck you must have had some skill.
One and only. Yeah.
One and only,
Yeah.
but it was a good
It
one.
was a good one.
Well, let's hear about it.
Wow. I don't know as much to talk about.
RJ Umberger made a
well,
hell of a play.
I mean,
actually.
let's tee up the time and space of the game.
We're down-
We're down 5-1.
4-1, I
Like
thought.
4-1. Is it 4-1?
Yeah, 4-1 or 5-1.
I thought it was 5-1 because I thought
It
it was
might
like
have
fully
been.
out of hand. I think
It
there was 5-6 minutes to go.
He couldn't even celebrate his first
even
goal in the
couldn't
NHL.
sell it, yeah.
So it's one of those.
You would have thought he was a 50-goal scorer. He snipes it, just turns.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Went
right?
back for the puck, broke the puck out, moved it to RJ Umberger, popped in the middle of the ice, got it back mid stride.
It's a good goal, though. Really.
Was it in
Fired
Philly
over.
too, or where was it?
Philly.
It was in Philly,
Oh,
yeah.
So
was
did
out
the
of
fans
hand.
at least give you a fucking good round of, you know?
Well, I mean, they cheered because the buzzer goes and the horn goes and all that, but it was out of hand, and I knew it was like a kind of a meaningless goal. So I just, guys come over, tap me on the head. I go back and line up for the face-off beside Steve Beijing and asked him to fight. Said, "Let's go."
Steve
He's
Beijing asked you to fight after you scored.
No, I went and asked him.
So
I
you're
went
like,
and asked him. I think I got to do my job. I'm not
Yeah.
I didn't do my job yet.
no, you should have been like, I'm a goal scorer now, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I
I don't fight anymore. No, I don't need
Oh,
that
great.
shit, right?
No,
That's
I-
great.
so it was one of those. But
Yeah.
yeah, good story.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it.
There's not much more to it than that. But I was excited. I was probably going
you're
crazy
pumped.
for it
Yeah,
anyway.
you're pumped.
We were really tight from the day we met when he came to the Phantoms the lockout year, the full year, and we actually won the cup. And Riley was a big part of that team. We had a great hockey team.
Yeah,
Man.
Nast loved the sticks I showed up with.
Hershey.
Let's hear it.
I haven't met him yet, right? So Homer says, "Hey, we got a guy coming in," and he says, "You're gonna like this guy," because he knew I loved the guys knuckling it up, and so like he didn't,
Yeah,
you
right.
know. So I didn't see Riles, but his bag's left in the room, so I go and I'm like taking his shit out, and then I see these sticks. Hershey, I didn't know if he was left-handed or right-handed. This blade was straight, and I'm like, what's going on here? I've never seen a fucking stick. It's like Gretzky's, but
I
straighter.
was gonna say.
And he's like, I came from where was it? The Central League, man.
League.
That's all they gave us, you know.
The big pallet too. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it was max height. I mean, it's straight
for face-offs.
I'm like, which way is this guy going? And then Homer goes, I think it'll be laying on the ice more than anything. I said,
Yeah.
okay.
So that was
Prop.
gonna be my
It's the
first thing
prop.
was fucking you're a passer.
Yeah, right. You got a good
Dish-
stick on the
You gotta
forecheck.
you pass better with a straighter blade, right? You get too much hook on it. Fuck, you can't
That's
can't
right.
pass it. That's
Yeah.
yeah, you're like Gretzky. That'll bring me to a Gretzky story. So I'll tell you a Gretzky story. I'd never met Gretzky during my career. And I played against him one time, but I was in LA and I was golfing with Russ Courtnall at Sherwood Golf and Country Club. And Gretzky has a house there and a membership, and Russ, and they're best friends, right? So we're coming around 18 and just finishing up, and Gretzky's group comes to 9, and the tee boxes are right beside each other. And I'm like, Russ, it's fucking Wayne Gretzky. Like I'd never met him, right? I'm this fucking Wayne Gretzky. And he's like, I'm like, can you introduce me to him? And he's like, stop fucking fanboying. You're embarrassing me. That's what he says to me. And he says, they're only playing 9. We'll meet him in the clubhouse after. So I'm like fucking jacked, eh? So we go down the fairway. I can barely hit my ball. I'm going to meet Wayne Gretzky. Right? Get into the clubhouse, sit down. Like I'm sitting like right beside Gretzky, like right across from him. And everything you hear about him, what a good dude. Like just loves hockey nerd, wants to know every goal he scored. And so I talked with him for about 45 minutes, and it was the fucking coolest moment of my life. But I had a flight I had to catch to go back to Vancouver. I was visiting Russ. So I had to get up. I'm like, fuck, talk to Wayne Gretzky or lose my job, whatever. I had job, right? So I get up and I go, Wayne, it was really nice to meet you. And I don't get a photo because Russ doesn't want me to fucking fanboy. So I'm still pissed about that. But so I'm like, it's nice to meet. And he looks at me. Remember, he wants to know every goal he scored. And he goes, hey, did I ever play against you? And I'm like, well, yeah. My first NHL win, which was my second NHL game, was in the Forum in LA. And I played against you and we won. And he's like, did I score on you that night? I'm like, actually, no, you didn't. And I know you lose sleep at night. If you need a psychologist, I got one for you. And I fucking left.
No way.
First time I met him, I fucking burned Wayne Gretzky.
He probably loved it though, because he's such a. I bet you he loved that.
I'm sure
Russ said he was dying laughing.
Yeah.
Right? And I left going, what the fuck did I just do?
That's great.
Wayne Gretzky, you know,
That's awesome.
but
cool.
that was every day. You know, you get one moment, and that was one of the coolest moments was meeting Wayne. And Nasty, you would know him, don't you? You met him?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to hang out with him a few times. Oh my God, dude! I mean, I always say when people say something about him, like, this guy, you could meet him. He'd sit beside you at a bar and talk to you like he's known you his whole life, and never even bring up himself, you know, like what he does or what he's done. But yeah, great guy. Really great guy. What's that?
Until you figure out he's
the great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is the great one. He's awesome.
I caught Gretzky at the end of his career, and I caught Mario in the middle. And if so if someone asked me who was better, Mario, I say Mario, because Mario was like, fucking, he lit me up for 3 in the Garden, and then 3 on me, 2 on Richter. I think we lost like 10-4. I didn't fucking last. It's one of his goals is famous. He scores on me in a breakaway. They show it fucking all the time. It was like a Forsberg. It was a top. Yeah. But anyways, so people ask me, and I'm like, you know, for me, like, but could you imagine those two in today's era with no hooking and no holding?
Oh my God.
Like Mario, how big he was and how fucking strong he was. Like even the Big E, like with no hooking and holding, right? Like how good he would have been, right?
Yeah.
Like you think of the hits that he had to take, of course, that ended his career. Those wouldn't have happened, right? The hooking, the holding and shit. So different game. I still, you know, I'm a bit old school from the generation I played. And I mean, I like the odd tussle, right? I don't think kids in junior hockey should be fighting. That's my opinion. But you know, like, so I have a tough time today because I'm not a proponent for taking out fighting, but I know what it does to the brain, right? Like, I know my brain. So, like, I have a tough time with it. And then I see like the Big E, his career and all that. So, you know, I still like a good tussle too myself. You know,
I like him when there's a reason for it, right? Yeah. Like when he was playing, like you go into the game and you know you're fighting George Laraque or Donald Brashear, and like mentally, as you brought up earlier, but like I feel like I've never done it, so but in my opinion, I'd rather get pissed off of, you know, something happening, get pissed off and just fight instead of having to sit all day and think about it. You know, if it happens, it happens. And I think you're right. Like I still enjoy a good tilt, especially if it means something for the game and that stuff. I think I enjoy it. I'm old school too, obviously. So.
Emotional, spontaneous.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of my fights, I wish they would have been like that, but I think it was like you're playing within the rules without trying to, you know, get another penalty. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, now I got to go run somebody to get a hit or get a big hit, blow somebody up, and then fight, and then it looks like an instigator or whatever. You know how that goes. So it's easier just to drop the mitts and make it 5-5 and get your
once they brought the instigator in, it all changed, right? Like then each team had one designated fighter. Yeah. So you know who you're fighting. You know, it's like, whereas the generation that I played, you know, there's 3 or 4 guys on every team. Like I had with my team, it was Gino. We had Gino Ojic. Yeah. You know, Donald Brashear could fight. You know, there was other guys that were on our blue line that could fight. Dana Merzen could fight, right? So you had more guys, but then it became just a one-on-one, and it became. I will never say it's pointless, Riley, because your fights were. You can't say none of your fights were, but it just didn't make sense for the game, right? Like,
I agree.
So, you know, I'm on the board of directors with Hockey Canada right now, and you know, there's a lot of changes that they're making, and I wouldn't say changes, but there's little things. I struggle with 16-year-olds fighting in junior hockey and grown men cheering them on, you know, that, but if you're an adult, fuck, have at it. You know, if that's what you want to do, go do it. And then, you know, we've got this sexual assault case thing going on with these guys. And that's all just unfortunate. And it's just bad all around, that whole situation. And I don't want to get into it and I don't want to talk, but it's like for everybody, the trauma out of that, you know, everybody, you know, and this poor girl, like she's, like everybody knows who she is in the town, right? Like, so how's she getting, and these guys, like, they're going to be tagged with this, and it's like the whole thing, so hopefully trying to, in that direction too, just trying to teach guys that, hey, there's a respect and a code that we need. And there's a difference between being a man and being an asshole. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I try to say, and it's just fucking, but anyways, now I'm bringing the pod back down. Bring us back up.
Bring it back up. Bring it back up.
Give us a story, But
Nasty's got something deep within. You got a story too.
Well, I don't know if we could.
Can you?
Is this rated? What's this rated? No, I'm kidding, man. I tell you what, Hershey, man, we appreciate you. Appreciate your time. I appreciate everything you're doing. Kind of, I had read about this stuff, and I remember, thinking, man, like, I didn't know this. It's just like with Riley, like I never knew, he was struggling a bit with it, having to fight, because I was with him all the time, but he didn't show it. And like with you, when I met you, I know you weren't here too long. I would have never known, like, because I just remember having laughs with you every day and giving you shit for having to push more horsehair into your pads a couple times. And
that's when you started cheating.
But buses, yeah, right. I gotta make these things bigger, man. But we appreciate you coming on, man. And like Riley always says, being vulnerable and just all the help you're doing. And man, it's just a pleasure to have you on. And God, I hope I get to see you soon, man. Like you said, give you a big hug, man. Yeah.
No, and thank you. And thanks for letting me, share a bit of my story too. And I got a book out, The Save of My Life. CoreyHersch.com is my website. And ultimately just you guys give me the platform to be able to tell some stories, relive some stuff, have some fun, but also like, hey, fuck, if you're struggling out there, go get the fucking help. Right. Like, like you can still be a man and go get help. Right. I mean, there's nothing, and you can still go play hockey, get in fights in hockey or whatever you want to do, or fix cars or whatever you think a man is. But fuck, life can be so much better,
Yeah.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys giving me the platform to be able to talk and just being able to connect again and fucking Flyers organization. You guys are family, like once whether you're there for a week or a month, like all of a sudden you're family and you get some good stories out of there. The Clarkie Holmgren story, I'll never forget.
That's right.
But thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Big thank you to our friend Corey Hersch for hopping on.
Yes, great guy, man. Glad he's doing well, man. And it was really cool to see you, last week doing some stuff with him, and he really appreciates it, obviously.
Yeah, he's been on the path for a while. He's been working at his mental health, and it takes time. It's a process. So it's nice to see him kind of turn the corner and find some relief. So
for sure.
Wish him the best.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah,
good man.
Yeah. It's nice to reconnect. So it's that time, Nast.
Is it?
It's
right
that,
now?
Like right.
Is it
right
now? It's time for the Clear Questions, brought to you by Clear Rum. Go to clearrum.com/shop. Type in Nasty 2023 and get 35% off of your order. PA residents only. Get on it.
What a deal.
This is going to be with me.
You're going to be needing a reload here soon.
Oh, buddy. We got to get a hold of them.
Right.
Boys, we're going to need a lot for that trip.
Loading up bus A?
Loading up bus A, bus B, C, D, E, F, G. Is there another one? We're loading them up. We're loading them up, though, man. What is it, Baller? What do you got?
What's up, boys?
What's up?
MGS Dude over on Twitter, he's asking, who was the most naturally gifted player to wear the orange and black during your time with the team?
Well, you've seen a lot more players come through than United.
Man, there's so many guys, like, over 26 years.
It's a lot of skill.
I mean,
was one of them number 32?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Lacroix. Oh, Rickety Riles with the old green gobby. The green gobby. Yeah. Obviously, G's got to pop right to mind. I mean, like, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
And he is highly, highly skilled. I actually was watching I was showing two of the kids that are here with me, Julian and Otto, a little I just ran across, may have been something Baller had posted, but there were some highlights, top 10 G highlights or something. And one was that I had forgot about was someone passed him a puck, and a guy lifted his stick, and he redirected it purposely with his foot back door to Coots, and Coots tapped. I mean, it was just, but, G was just so highly skilled. Even when you played with him when he first came in. And I know there's been a ton of highly skilled guys. Zherdev was a guy who wasn't here very long.
Yeah.
You heard what Mike Richards said about him. This guy was he was another level skill as well. But I'm going to go with G. I have to say G.
Yeah.
Claude Giroux, just... Guy he used to do he does those little things that a lot of people don't notice,
so crafty.
For God's sakes, he's on his offhand and he turns his stick around and wins face all straight back, just little things that I saw him do for all those years, and he's actually still doing them. I'm gonna go with G. That's a great question because there's so many guys. I hate to leave someone out, but Claude Giroux.
That's what I would say. Obviously, I played with him and I watched him develop with the Phantoms and Flyers, but you could see his sick hands right from the start.
Really
talk about
sick.
So I think for a guy that's come in as a Flyers pick and evolve into a high skill guy, I don't know who else would even be in that category, but
there's obviously been skilled players. But G's just. He's next level.
Yeah, crafty, eyes up, always finding ways to feed pucks through the littlest spaces. It's actually incredible.
100%.
Good question.
It is.
G is the answer.
Over on Instagram, we got Construction Kurt. What's the gnarliest injury either one of you have witnessed in a game? He mentions Lappy taking a puck to the face.
Yep.
That was tough to see. That was really tough to see. We were petrified because we didn't know if he got him in the eye. He obviously got him in the face near his eye, but it looked like it got him right in the eye. And I witnessed that before with Johnny Stevens, unfortunately, with the Phantoms. The second year or the third year of the team, that's what ended his career eventually. He took a slap shot from the point and he didn't wear a visor. A lot of guys did back then. But that was really ugly. That's probably one of the worst that I saw. Scariest as well. And
man.
It was. Lappy even said. I don't know if we talked about it when he was on, but I know when the trainer got out there, he was like, "Is my eye here? Is my eye?" Because he couldn't see anything, obviously, because he had the broken bones there. But that one, made you sick to your stomach to see. So anybody, not just because we knew him, but those are scary situations.
Yeah, I got two others. One, I was coaching with the Phantoms, and Eric Wellwood got his Achilles tendon stepped on in the middle of a play in Bridgeport.
Yeah,
and skated off the ice, blood just seeping out of the bottom sole of his skate on the ice, carted off the ice, middle of the play, emergency surgery, and he landed up retiring, as we know the story goes. Pretty wild. And then the other one actually was my first year in Philly, lockout year, sitting on the bench. Todd Fedor.
Oh my God.
Friggy's first game he'd signed with the Phantoms. He'd already played with the Flyers. He signs a contract with the Phantoms. First game, sitting on the bench in the Spectrum. I think John Slaney had rimmed the puck.
Yep.
Ripped it around the glass. Everyone's kind of looking over the boards to see where the puck was. Everyone moves.
Fridge did.
Out of the way, Friggy. I'm right beside him, and just puck
the sound.
right.
I just remember that sound.
Oh my, that sound! It sounded like squeezing plastic. Broke his orbital bone. I think that was the first time, and then obviously Bugard broke the other side, but it was ugly. Yeah, put him out for good chunk of that season. So
it's tough to see.
Super ugly ones, yeah. But yeah,
there's been a few.
Was Welly the fastest guy you ever coached or played with?
I would say he's probably I would say the quickest guy. Quick in the sense that his first 2 or 3 strides in any direction were so quick. Yeah, I think once you get going, there's probably guys equally as fast, if not faster, but quick here, quick there. Just cross over and be super quick. I would say so. He was light on his feet.
I think he would have had a good career.
Yeah,
too.
I think so too.
Or a longer career. Like, he was a good little player.
He was a
man.
good little player. Good on pucks. Like, just getting on pucks because he got him his quickness. He could
Yeah.
just take that 2 or 3 strides and get up a stick on it and generate a half breakaway, partial breakaway, sometimes full breakaway. So
Yeah.
I love Welly. I think he's
Yep.
coaching up in the O there.
Yeah,
so.
he is, yeah.
I think he's with the Maple Leafs now.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Is he really?
Maybe
You
the
sure that's
Marlies?
Eric or not
Oh.
Kyle?
Eric, yeah.
Yeah, Eric, yeah. Huh.
Oh, nice. What's up, Welly?
Welly.
Hadn't seen him in a while. I had to reach out to Welly.
All right, we got one final one. This is from Chris Brown 128 over on Instagram. What's Nasty's favorite prank he's ever done?
Ooh.
I haven't done many.
No?
The snake, the cooler with the snake was
Seems
a
to
lot
be-
of fun because I got everyone, including UPS guys, FedEx guy. I mean, we got everybody with that. That one was really good. One of my favorites though was when I sewed Michael Raffles' phone into his pants. That one, we've talked about that one
Yeah.
before. That one was just funny because it was Raffy and he was just
Just
so
so
confused.
rattled.
He was, he looks over, he goes, I was about to say, there's a secret pocket in my pants. I didn't do anything.
Holy fuck. It's so funny, man. I was about to ask you guys, hey, there's a secret pocket in my thing. I swear. I couldn't figure it out, man.
He
couldn't make sense that it was a
He could
prank,
not
eh?
figure it out. The pockets in that he had a new suit, and they were so long. I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. So I put the phone in there, turned the pants out inside out, sewed right across, so it felt like he had a normal pocket.
Right, yeah.
So you could see him in the video. We have a video. I think Ballers posted it before, but he's looking, and we're like trying not
Everyone
to
knew
laugh,
too,
and I
yeah.
just started snickering. I couldn't help it. That was one of my favorites, and we used to do this one real quickly in Toronto in the visiting room. So how some places have a curtain that'll come all the way through, like to kind of separate a
Yeah.
room. Well, they had one of those in there, but it went inside of a door, so you could walk back like 10 feet. So I would get in there and get Sal to tell someone, hey, get in here. I would already be in the closet, and you can't see anything. It's pitch black. It's a black curtain, and you're in this little area. And Sal would always be like, hey, like, I'll use you as an example. Rouse, get in there, and I'm going to get Nasty to go open the door. So someone would get in the closet, not knowing I'm in there, and I would just fucking put my hand on him or something, and you scream. It was great. That was one of we used to always do that in Toronto. But the snake one is people love the most.
Yeah, you're pretty sneaky too.
Yeah.
Just good guys.
I like to hide.
You do like to hide. Yeah, jump out of nowhere and
Yeah,
scare the shit
I like
out of
to.
people.
I like doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
So yeah,
crafty.
that's a good question, but I guess we have to go with the snake one because that one was they even put that one on the NHL
That's
Network
legendary,
the one
yeah.
day.
Yeah, you've got a lot of people with that.
I have. I've made my own now. I got that. I got to give props to Red Batty in Green Bay Packers head equipment guy. He sent that to me. He's like, he called me. He goes, I got something for you. I know you like to screw around and have fun. He goes, you're going to love this. It scared me when I opened it 'cause I wasn't sure what it was. But yeah, that was probably my favorite one, the snake.
Yeah. Love it. That's it, Nast.
That's it?
Clear questions in the books.
All right.
146 in the books.
In the books. Debo, can you believe it?
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy. How do you go about it?
Just got to wait till next week for
Just got to
147.
wait till next week, Debo.
Well, Nast, you better take care of yourself. Get some rest.
I will. Super Bowl Sunday.
Be sure to subscribe to the pod.
Please do.
Yeah.
I do subscribe to it.
Be sure to comment, ask some questions.
Yeah. Please do that.
Please do. All right, knuckleheads. Until next week, stay safe.
See ya.